Hello, everybody. My name is Daniel Young. I'm the owner and founder of Adapted Perspective and the Adapted Perspective channel, where I help you make your dreams a reality. The closed-end fun videos that I present are just one way how we're going to accomplish our dreams. If you want the full methodology, the 12 steps that I am detailing out on Pinterest, well, an unedited video, the full details that I'm posting on Facebook, as well as the strategy that I'm sharing on Pinterest. You can find those on those respective pages. Uh, our closed-end fund portfolio is built upon lasting dividends, not the gradual sell-off of our own funds. It's not built for quick, fast gains. It's also not completely built on a buy and hold strategy. I mean, we do have some funds that are forever funds or lifetime funds, but others are held just based on the market. We've started a no withdrawal portfolio designed to fund supplement a retirement through dividends instead of slowly cashing out the portfolio over time, like what the vast majority of people do. So our goal is to target 9% dividends, not the 2% traditional dividends that you often see, but 9% plus dividends, so that we keep our principal funds invested and then we earn dividends, consistent dividends, while we either reinvest those or cash them out as needed. So how do we do this? It all comes down to our closed-end fund master. So let me show that. So here we go. This is our closed-end fund master. Well, it says membership view, but it's our closed-end fund master. It's got a resource page of um, say just an ongoing list of recommended funds that gets updated. It has our portfolio from last year and our performance for last year. It has our performance for this year. Uh, Gray is what has been sold, or this company liquidated itself. Um, me personally, I just like to keep track of our shares. Has our total investment, overall yield, overall projected annual dividend, our dividends so far, and our dividend return on investment right now. Um, this is a dividend tracker between what's expected and what's been paid, as well as how we've done over the years. So we started this portfolio in March, maybe of 2021. So if I scroll to the bottom, so those were our dividends in 2021. Uh, our total dividends for 2022, our existing current dividends for 2023, and then a running total of everything. And then these tabs ongoing are past videos that I've done and posted on YouTube already. And this one is not exactly the one for today, but it's close. So we'll eliminate that. So how we make this. So this is ranked by alphabetical here. We need to rank it by discount, and then rank it by target. Um, the target breakdown. So everything with a single asterisk we're tracking, and of these color codes. So everything in blue we own. Everything in purple is recommended by somebody. Uh, Most are recommended by people I trust. Some I follow just for a different take on the market. And the green ones are just things I'm tracking that are interesting to me. Um, Two asterisks is a dollar cost average alert. Um, this should not be that asterisk. The blue is a dollar cost average alert. These others should not be two asterisks. That ought to be one. Dollar cost, one, three, And then 3 is either double the historical discount, double the 5-year discount, maybe double both, pending or finally in discount territory, like USA here, who's generally in premium land, to be honest. So let's re-rank the targets. And then we target just the top, or well, say just these tops, the 3 asterisks. Drop them here. Current applies to how many shares we currently own. Insert, shift right. So how to sort? We sort by discount. If we had anything in premium, then we would cut those out. We've been looking at funds that pay 9% or above, specifically. And then for our side of things, we're also not looking to add anything of what we don't currently own. So we're not looking to add anything new. That leaves us with this. So there have been several articles written by some people I just read to get a different take that have encouraged closed-end funds. The problem is they're encouraging funds that are not selling at this significant discount area. Those funds would be FEI, which we own, NML, which we own. FEI doesn't make my list based on pricing, but their dividend hasn't changed. NML has increased the dividend, but their pricing, Stu, it hasn't changed. And the pricing we're looking at is not just the daily share price or the overall net asset value. It's the discount. So when you buy HFRO, you're buying HFRO for 40% off. So if we use a standard dollar, you're getting it for 40% off. It's like paying 60 cents for every dollar invested. That's a really good deal. And strategically, if we're looking for a discount that is significant compared to its average, then you're getting a stellar discount. GLO it's a portfolio when it can, but it's gone up and down. It's a roller coaster ride. Same thing as ZTR. 18. So its current discount is 18. So it's like getting, let's say, paying 82 cents for every dollar invested. It's almost double the historical value. It's definitely more than the 5-year value. And then it has a bounce pattern or roller coaster pattern, and then it just does this. So of what I would buy if it were me, based on the current market. But before I get into this, let me jump back and give you some reminders. So this is an unedited video. So who knows what you hear as I film or who knows what you hear in the background as I film these at my house. It's generally my cat's witching hour. Like they're running through the house, amok. The disclaimers, see the description for all the disclaimers. The 2 that I'll mention here are that I am not a financial advisor. I'm a financial strategist. And then I don't speak like the herd. I walk in limited company. Sometimes I walk alone. I might walk alone tonight, but I'm okay with that. I filter all the financial news. So I pay for a service through the Contrarian Outlook. I read everything that, so our investment platform is on Webull. Some of the it's not news articles. Some of the advice columns that post are premium, like premium content. You have to pay for it from Seeking Alpha. I don't pay for their stuff. I read their general stuff just as a different take. Occasionally, I see articles from Ready News. I see a lot of different stuff. I filter all of that out and then offer a take, sometimes in line with what they're saying, and lately not in line with what they're saying. So uh, let's get more back. We'll say let's at least get back into this breakdown. So all of these represent a, we'll say a buy alert just based on discount. But based on what I know on the market and where I see things going, um, the market always looks forward. So regardless of how the market looks today, like it's going to rise and fall. And lately, it's fallen. Maybe September slows. Maybe we kind of shift sideways. Maybe it drops even further. No one really knows. But the market always looks forward. Um, and knowing that, there's really three areas that I would focus in if it were me. I would look into bonds. I would look in corporate bonds, but really just bonds, not junk bonds, because junk bonds are junk. Um, when you look at bonds, you look at convertible stocks that shift between stocks and bonds. You look at real estate, which is one of the can't think of the term, one of the heavier hit areas of the market. And you look at oil. And regardless of what you think of oil, whether you think it's a renewable resource or not, whether you think it's bad for the world or not, you have to stop and realize that I'm filming this video on a computer. Maybe you're watching YouTube stuff on your phone or tablet or PC or laptop. Maybe you've stopped in your car and you're actually scrolling YouTube videos in your car. All of those things are oil byproducts. Now, you can be against the black stuff all you want, right? You can be against that black gold or that black goo all you want, but technology stems from oil, and it stems from all the byproducts of oil. All of those semiconductor chips, solar panels, the the hardware inside your refrigerator, all of those things are oil byproducts. So a oilless society does not use any of those things. An oilless society does not have the advancement of technology through microchips, semiconductor chips, a mouse, a laptop, a refrigerator, a car, an EV car, a solar powered this, a wind that. All of those things do not function without oil. So if you're pushing for an oilless society, every single technological thing in your house throw out the door, and that would be what's left in an oilless society. Kind of scary, huh? So regardless of what you think of oil, oil will always be needed. So say as Kiyosaki says, where he invests are things of what the Fed cannot print. I mean, the Fed can print money out the wazoo, right? And they did. They printed $4 trillion, which is why we have inflation. The Fed caused the inflation. Now they're fixing the inflation. So if we invest in other things besides money, bonds are kind of tied to money. I mean, that's kind of money to a degree, but it's not necessarily something the Fed can print. Oil cannot be printed. Real estate cannot be printed. So if we focus there, we eliminate a lot of this list. And again, we own all of these companies. So if you look at bonds, corporate bonds, oil, and real estate, that's all that's left. For us and where we stand, and the reason why I like to look at stuff. So I've been trying to get all of our funds up to 200 shares apiece. Yep, KYN. So at some point, KYN and KMF are supposed to merge. These shares will transfer over, but not in a 1-to-1 ratio. Um, let's see, and just to make sure, yep, 200 there, 150 there. Come back here. So we're looking at the current market and current pricing and using the discount to make our long-term decisions. Does that make sense? So we can't look past the current. The goal is to operate within the current market and plan for the future. So if we plan for these three currently and use these discounts to our advantage, then in the future, when the prices go back up, the discount shrinks, right? We're in a better position. But all of that doesn't matter per se until you sell the fund. We're not looking to sell any of these funds outright. This dividend is key. So if we bought, we'll play with numbers. So we're going to look past this column. So if we had 200 shares, it would pay that a year. If we had 500 shares, it would pay that a year, right? If we had 1,000 shares, it would pay that a year. So we're looking to invest in companies like these where we can collect a fat dividend consistently, ideally monthly. And I get this one is not a monthly fund, but ideally monthly, whether it's today pricing or 40 years from now pricing, that dividend pays and pays consistently so that when it comes time for us to either supplement our retirement or collect our retirement, these funds will pay us in healthy dividends. So pending your strategy and where you feel comfortable, all of these funds are great buys based on the discount and based on the current discount compared to their historical discounts. HFRO has run the cheapest discount on videos for a while. It's dipped a little bit. I want to say at one point, maybe it dipped around 36% off. If the Fed raises rates, that discount should drop considerably. But who knows? Well, no. If the Fed decreases rates, sorry, this should also lift considerably. Gosh. So you have bonds here for amazing prices. Like for instead of paying $1, you're paying 60 cents for every share invested. Warren Buffett talks about that. KYN is an energy infrastructure company. It is oil, natural gas, and like a toll bridge system where it's all about transporting from one end to the other. Utilities, all that stuff. And IGR is real estate investment trust. But it's not just real estate in the sense of an office building or a gas station or a warehouse. When you look at cell phone companies, most cell phone companies don't actually pay for their own towers anymore. You've got companies like Crown Castle, which doesn't sound like a telephone company or a digital data management company. But you have Crown Castle or American Tower building these cell phone towers and then renting or leasing the space out to cell phone companies versus IGR owns the real estate, the associated land where Crown Castle is building or American Tower is building. So it's real estate, but it's not real estate how you think. And real estate has been hammered. And the reason why I like this system, the reason why I like knowing all of this data. So if you remember this 450, we're going to look at our current portfolio. So if you take, it's 450 a share. I like things in 50 cent batches. I just like the math better. Okay, so that's the cost. We're going to look at our current investment. That's how much. So if we bought 50 new shares, that's how much our total investment would be. Then we would divide it by 200 shares because we already have 150. We're going to add 50 more. So now that's 200. And that becomes the average price of share compared to what that is. And that is just that it's a huge dollar cost average for us. But if we bought it for just the dollar cost average of things, yeah, we would get a good deal in the long run if we ever sold it. Right. But if we buy based on the discount, so current discount, almost 12%, the historical discount and the 5-year discount are both around 10.5%. Right. So it's not double of what that is, but it's higher than both. And that's significantly different. There we go. KYN, yeah, it has a discount over a 5-year period of time, but really is in premium territory. And HFRO price might dip a little bit in buyback, maybe not. But it's significantly different. It's double the 5-year and more than double the historical. It's a really good buy. So what would we buy if we were buying tomorrow? We would buy here because it's what we have. What would we buy if we could afford either of those? It's not always about the yield. Let's look at that. So we'll bring out our calculator again. So if we look at the yield by period, so the existing dividend payment for KYN is 10.5 per 3 months. Right. So IGR over 3 months is $9. But what is HFRO over 3 months? More than $10. So if it's all about the money and it's all about the dividends are distracting. We want to look at the money in return in regards to how good of a discount we get, because if we can buy it at an enormous discount and the discount shrinks, the price goes up, right? The dividend stays the same, but the overall percentage drops. Does that make sense? So if we change the price of this to what it's been, or close to what it's been, makes the yield go down. So as the cost goes up, the yield goes down. So if we buy on discount and get a great deal, and buy when the price is low, we get a great deal. And yes, we're looking for a solid yield, right? Because we'll collect the dividend at this price or at this price point, regardless of whether that goes up or down. But while this goes up and down, we collect the dividend. And if we never sell the company, we collect the dividend. And if my children, really my child, sells the company, then she can and will still collect the dividend. Right? Maybe she keeps it for the duration of her life, and then she'll keep getting the dividend. So I like closed-end funds because of it's not diversity in the sense of how most people see diversity. It's like if you were picking single stocks and someone said, hey, you want to have more than just one stock, you want to be diverse and spread your money around. That's not a good thing. That shows incompetence and fear more than anything. But when I invest here, I get access to a lot of other companies, like a lot of other expensive companies at a lower cost, and I get a better dividend. And it actually decreases my risk because this company invests in all of these other companies for me. So I get kind of like free diversity in a way. So by investing into KYN, I get access to all the funds they have, but I just collect one dividend from them. But the same is true for real estate. The same is true of corporate bonds. So if it's me and our funds of what we have, I would buy 50 of IGR. If we're buying something else, then it becomes harder because both of these are solid buys. All three of these are solid buys. Um, if we had, gosh, if we had $9, like for $9 a share. So if we could drop 100, let's look at this. 50 is 400. That's close. I would still put 100 shares into IGR because it would drop our overall rate. Real estate, oil, bonds. Between the three of them, pending your portfolio and your needs, you really can't go wrong. Yeah, it does it. All of these are impacted by what the Fed is manipulating, but all of these things the Fed really can't control. You can argue they can control real estate by inflation and the current interest rates, but it also exists just beyond their control. So they can manipulate all of these. But this is where I would stick our money. Yeah, and I'm not going to browbeat you. So, and I'm not going to ramble. That's not my goal. I don't want to waste your time. So, reminders. Regardless of current pricing, the market looks forward. Regardless of how you know, there's always risk. But if you increase your knowledge, you decrease risk. The more you learn, the more you can project the market, the better you'll do in the long run. Investing in the stock market is not a quick trip. It's not like I put my money in on this penny stock and 2 weeks later I made bank. It's not that. There are unicorn stories. There are the stories that exist, but that's not everybody. Uh, the more you understand that a lot of these financial firms, and even the people that I like the best, hinge on every single thing the Fed says and take what the Fed says as absolute truth, the more you'll understand how the game is played and how your strategy fits into the game. Yeah, where would I park my money right now? Real estate, oil, and bonds. But I would do it completely differently than all those circuit junkies you'll see on the mainstream news who are telling you to invest in single entities. I would do it all through closed-end funds. Yeah, closed-end funds, I get greater access, less risk, sector diversity, depending on how you go. I get gains over time. I get killer consistent dividends, and I get all of that on sale. If you buy Coke, you're paying it full price. Well, maybe not the powder Coke. If you're buying liquid Coke, you're paying full price all day, every day. And if I can find a closed-end fund with Coca-Cola in its portfolio, I get that on a discount, right? At least I have the potential to get it on a discount. So my selections for the week: oil, real estate, and bonds, and specifically real estate, IGR, oil, energy transfer, utilities, the works. Just overall energy infrastructure is KYN, and corporate bonds in general, HFRO. They've been offering a 40% discount on fund for a long time, and it's a good value at 40% off. So if you like the content, consider subscribing to my channel, hit the like button, go over to Facebook and check out my group there called Navigate Your Finances. Yeah, if you want more data on financial memes and where that playlist is going, then you go to Pinterest and you check out my board income memes. And you'll see there's a list of maybe 480-ish financial memes that yeah, most of them are just not great memes, but I think 480, and I've covered maybe 22 of them at this point. So plenty of fodder for the future. So regardless of what you have coming up for the week, regardless of what you have coming up in general, remember that you're the captain of your ship. Your ship will go where you steer it. So you can always improve how you pilot your ship, but that ship will go where you send it. So, gosh, strategy is everything. If you can figure out where you are and figure out where you want to be, the fun begins because it really is charting and navigating your finances from where you are to where you want to be. That's the simple truth of figuring out how to accomplish your dreams. So if you want help with that, go to Facebook and check out my group there. Um, as all of those memes on my Pinterest page say, many people will offer to help you, but only you can make the choice of who you follow. So if you like the content, by all means, like, subscribe, follow my channel. And if the content does not speak to you in any way, then I wish you well. But find somebody who does speak to you, follow them, take their advice, and let their advice help you on the journey. So whatever you have going, if it could happen on its own, it would have already happened on its own. But since it hasn't happened on its own, you're going to have to make it happen. So make it happen. And when you do, once you start to see changes, once you start to do things and people start to notice, you will shock your culture. You will shock your world. They will ask you, hey, what are you doing differently? Hey, can you help me? Hey, can you talk about this? Hey, can you show me what you're doing? And then help somebody out and help them on their journey. Because it is all about the journey and all about helping one another get to and reach the things that we want to do. Life is not lived at work. Work allows us to do some things. Our jobs allow us to accomplish some things, but life is not lived at work. And you should not be expected to live your life at work for the next 30, 40, 50 years. Take care of the stuff you got to take care of. But if you want to do life differently than being stuck at that job, then you're going to have to do some things differently. And it's not going to just happen of its own free will. If you want to do things differently, you're going to have to do things differently. So make it happen and shock your world. It is far easier than you think to make some changes. It is far easier than you think to accomplish those dreams. So this is Daniel Young signing off. I will see you all on another video. Bye-bye.